It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm excited to go into the next installment of Let's Create a Healthy Relationship with Money. We're still in chapter 3 here. We're finishing up chapter 3, and honestly, there's not much else to say besides let's get into it. Where we left off was with your game plan, which is exercise 1, sequencing your money DNA. So it says here, in your physical body, your DNA carries the genetic instructions for your growth and development. Its double helix structure serves as a scaffold that makes it stable. In the same way, your DNA is a stable scaffold that carries instructions for how you can make and grow your money. Your DNA begins with your experiences and influences. In turn, your experiences and influences determine your emotions about money. For example, my experience of stealing money from my dad's client created the first strand. My dad's anger about that experience influenced my view of money, the other strand of my DNA. Each strand was linked together by my feelings about the incident, my humiliation, my anger, and powerlessness. Okay, so what does your DNA look like? So I'm going to write in these little sections here, and then I'm going to come back to you and tell you a little bit about the experiences I have and then the emotional reactions I tell myself about those moments, and I'll be right back. Take a moment to reflect on some of the experience that led to your money story. So the first one I wrote here was, the first experience was the one time my parents could afford to send me to camp. I missed it because my parents got the dates wrong. We showed up a week later. I was so incredibly upset. Emotional story you tell yourself about it. I felt disappointed and like my experience of doing something that costed money didn't matter in the end. Interesting. And then I also wrote, rather have instant gratification so there is less of a chance it won't work out. All right, so trying to catch myself before I fall, right? So expecting failure before failure actually ensues. Interesting. Will come with the next experience. Preface that any of the experiences of examples that I use today, regardless if they have to do with family, friends, or people that I've known in my past, I don't want anyone to take any of these things that I say personally, even though some of these instances may have had negative impacts on my life and how I view money within my life, does not mean that I want you to feel negatively about that in a way that is hurtful. None of this is meant to be hurtful. This is all meant to be a learning process for me and something that can hopefully help me grow and continue my life in a prosperous way. So the next experience is, Dad was always frustrated that his dad sold his home instead of giving it to my dad and our growing family. My emotional story I tell myself about it is that I have a responsibility to give what I have to others, work for money, never expect things for free, keeping money is selfish. Okay. And after that, my next experience is a friend in high school got into an disagreement with her mom about jobs and what she wanted to do, and her mom said, do you want to be poor like Eva's parents for the rest of your life? That was the example she used. I wasn't there, but that's what my friend told me after the fact. So the emotional story I tell myself about that experience is, I felt like I wasn't enough or felt inadequate, or that my family's money was inadequate. I felt sad that that's how adults viewed my parents' situation, and I was extremely embarrassed hearing that. And I don't know if it was good for me to hear it or bad for me to hear it, but at the end of the day, it definitely changed how I viewed my parents' situation and how I viewed myself and what my future would look like because of how little my parents had growing up. Next experience, and then we have 2 more experiences after that one. So the next one is stealing from establishments as a teen. My emotional story you tell yourself about that is, angry at the system for punishing me and taking it out on corporations. I think when I say punishing, I feel like maybe there was things saying growing up that made me feel like the money situation that my parents were in, there was only so much that was in their control, and that because of what my dad chose to do and the education that my mom had, which was not a lot, that the system made it so that we were always meant to fail. And so I didn't know how to deal with those emotions as a teenager, and so and I didn't want to hurt people, so I would hurt the establishment instead in small ways by taking. And then I also had a feeling of being untouchable, which was not true. And then the last experience I had was the flip side of that, which is getting caught stealing. And my emotional story I tell myself about that was that I was embarrassed for not having enough and feeling like I needed to steal. Realizing I'm not untouchable also was earth-shattering. And then scared of what people would think of me after finding out that I had stolen. And what people think of me now, having money or not having money. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so after this is step 2, which is reset your money mindset. Now that you've discovered a lot about your money story, style, and the power you have to change your strategy, it's time to hit the reset button with money. You need to first look back and begin healing your relationship with money. Then look forward to see how money aligns with your meaningful mission. When you combine both perspectives, you're ready to reset your money mindset. That's step 2, where you begin to lay the foundation for a new and improved relationship with money. Keep in mind that everyone's story is unique, so your story and results will be different from mine. I share this to inspire, inform, and empower you on your journey, not to give you specific financial advice. With that being said, let's get started to reset your mindset. All right, and then that leads into chapter 4. So basically, we're going to go into chapter 4 next week. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me. I know this was a little bit of a short video, but like I said last week, this chapter was kind of long, so I didn't want to do the whole chapter in one video, just because I wanted to give each chapter the time that it deserves each time that I open this book. So I really hope this information is helpful to you, and that we can continue to go on this healthy relationship journey with money together. Yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you can like and subscribe and share this video, I also would really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Yeah, I don't know, this is really interesting, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm learning a lot about myself and what I thought about money and the stories I've been telling myself all my life that I didn't even realize. And I think that this is really going to change my experience for the better. It's never too late. It's never too late to create a healthy relationship with money, and we can start now. So thank you all so much. See you all later, and have a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Goodbye, y'all.